The letter arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning. Thick paper. Red border. Official seal. Final notice. Outstanding violations. Total penalty $70,000. Jared Cole stared at it, coffee cooling in his hand. $70,000. For what? Mowing his lawn 3 days late, installing a non-regulation mailbox, excessive wind chimes, all minor, all disputed. Yet now he faced financial ruin. He called the HOA, left messages, no reply. Then he drove to the main lodge, only to find the gates locked. Guards blocking entry. You're suspended, one said. No access until paid. Jared stood there, frozen. But what they didn't know, what no board member had ever checked, was that while they fined him, he owned the only paved road connecting their entire 98-home community to the mainland, and if they thought $70,000 was a lot, they hadn't seen what he was about to charge them. Jared Cole wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. Just a retired civil engineer who'd spent 30 years building bridges and highways for the state. When he retired, he moved to Pine Hollow Ridge, a secluded mountain community with winding roads, lake views, and peace. He bought a modest A-frame cabin on 5 acres, not for investment, but for solitude. The HOA collected $380 a month for road maintenance, security, and aesthetics. Jared paid on time. He kept his lawn neat, his truck washed, his woodpile stacked, but Linda Voss, the HOA president, didn't like quiet men. She wore blazers in 90-degree heat, carried a clipboard like a weapon, and ruled the association like a dictator. At the annual meeting, she announced new fines. $500 per day for unapproved landscaping. Changes. $1,000 for failure to attend compliance meetings. Jared raised his hand. These feel excessive. We enforce the rules equally. Linda said, "You've fined 3 people this month, all for small things. And we'll find more," she replied. That night, Jared received his first notice. Unapproved flagpole. Removal required within 14 days or face a $150 daily fine. He removed it. Then came another. Excessive bird feeders attract wildlife. Removal required. He complied. But the fines kept coming. $75 for non-regulation mailbox color. $120 for unapproved. Stone edging. Each signed Linda Voss, president. Pine Hollow HOA. Jared wasn't angry. Not yet. He was confused. Why was she targeting him? Then, one icy morning, he returned from town to find a red-stamped notice nailed to his door. Outstanding balance, $70,000. Immediate payment required. No hearing. No breakdown. Just a number designed to break him. That's when he knew this wasn't about rules. It was about land. And he wasn't just a resident. He was the last living heir to a 1947 land grant, one that gave him sole ownership of the Pine Hollow Access Road, the only dry land route into the community. His grandfather had built it after a flood destroyed the old path. The county sold it to him. Private ownership, never transferred, and in his will he left it, and the deed, to Jared. He wasn't just a man on a mountain. He was the gatekeeper. And if Linda wanted war, she had no idea who she was fighting. Jared stood at the notice, gripping the wooden post. $70,000 for violations he'd either fixed or never committed. He called the HOA office, straight to voicemail. He drove to the lodge, a 2-story chalet with a stone chimney and a sign, Pine Hollow Estates, excellence in community living. Inside, Linda sat behind a polished oak desk, sipping tea. "You're trespassing," she said without looking up. "I live here," Jared replied. "Not until you resolve your violations." "What violations?" "I've fixed everything." She slid a folder across the desk. 10 new notices. Unapproved solar panel mount. Unregistered dog, though I see no dog. And failure to attend the mandatory landscape review. Jared stared. "I didn't get any of these." "They were mailed." "To a mailbox you sealed me out of," Linda smirked. "Procedural compliance is your responsibility." He pulled out his phone, showed her the cabin. No solar panels, no dog, no changes. "This is harassment." "We enforce the rules," she said coolly. "Equally." As he turned to leave, a janitor whispered, "She's been after that land for years. Wants to build luxury cabins, sell the view." Jared froze. That night, he dug through his grandfather's old files, yellowed deeds, land surveys, legal transfers, and there it was, a 1947 county land grant. After a flood destroyed the original access road, the county sold the Pine Hollow Access Road, the only dry land route into the community, to private ownership. His grandfather bought it, and in his will, he left it and the deed to Jared. He wasn't just a resident, he was the gatekeeper. And if Linda wanted war, he'd make sure she lost more than just a fight. The fines came daily now, $150, for excessive wood smoke, $200 for unapproved chimney cap, $75 for failure. To install security lighting, Jared's mailbox overflowed with red-stamped notices, all signed by Linda. He tried appealing. Submitted photos, cited code exceptions. The board voted 4-1 to uphold every fine. Linda smiled as she read the decision aloud. Then came the drone. It hovered over his cabin every afternoon, buzzing like a wasp, recording every move. When Jared confronted the HOA, they claimed it was surveillance for compliance verification. He called a lawyer. Without evidence of malice or collusion, there's little you can do, the attorney said. But Jared wasn't done. He installed his own cameras, high-res, night vision, cloud-backed. He filmed the drone. He filmed Linda's car circling his property at dawn. He filmed her meeting with a real estate developer in a diner parking lot. 2 men in suits, a folder labeled Pine Hollow Luxury Parcel, Phase 1. One night, he walked the access road, flashlight in hand, boots crunching on gravel. The structure was old but solid. Steel beams, wooden planks, anchored deep into the rock. He found something strange, fresh drill marks near the support beams. Someone had been inspecting it, or sabotaging it. He took photos, sent them to the county engineer. Reply, "No HOA permit for structural inspection." Report filed. Jared now had 2 weapons, the deed to the road and evidence of illegal activity. But Linda wasn't backing down. 2 days later, sheriff's deputies arrived. "Court order," one said. "HOA claims your property poses a safety hazard. We're conducting an inspection." Jared stood in the doorway, calm. "You'll need a warrant." They left. But the message was clear. Linda would stop at nothing, so neither would he. The next morning, a bulldozer arrived. It rumbled up the access road, escorted by 2 HOA security trucks. Jared stood on his porch, coffee in hand, watching. The operator idled near his stone path, the one they claimed was unapproved. Linda stepped out, flanked by board members. "This ends today," she announced. "We're removing all non-compliant structures." Jared walked down slowly. "You don't have a court order. We have a board vote and a contractor. And I have cameras rolling, a live stream going, and a call into the county sheriff." A small crowd had gathered, neighbors drawn by the noise. "You're violating due process," one man shouted. Linda ignored him. "Begin," she told the operator. The blade lowered. Jared stepped forward. "I own this road," he said, loud enough for all to hear. "Every inch of it. And if that machine moves 1 stone on my property, I'm closing it. No one gets in. No one gets out. Not even you." Gasps spread through the crowd. "You can't do that," Linda snapped. "I can. The deed's registered with the county. I'll send you a copy." She hesitated. The operator paused. Then, from the back, a woman called out, "Wait, does that mean she's been charging us for road access, but doesn't even own the road?" Murmurs grew. Linda turned red. "This is a private matter." "No," Jared said. "It's a public one." That night, he uploaded everything. The deed, the fines, the drone footage, the meeting with the developer. By morning, it had 200,000 views. Local news picked it up, then the state attorney general's office. Linda called, demanding he take it down. He replied, "I'll take it down when you resign." She didn't. but she wouldn't have the chance. 3 days later, a forensic auditor arrived. Jared had filed a formal complaint with the state. Suspicion of HOA financial misconduct. The auditor requested 10 years of records. Linda refused. The court ordered compliance. What they found was staggering. Over 12 years, $3.1 million in resident fees had vanished, not spent, not invested, embezzled, transferred through shell companies, fake contractors, and offshore accounts. Linda had been siphoning funds since she took power, using the money to buy luxury cars, fund her daughter's private school, and finance the very development project she wanted to build on Jared's land. Photos surfaced. Her at a villa in St. Lucia. Her son driving a Tesla paid for by road maintenance fees. Worse, she'd falsified safety reports, claiming the road was structurally unsound to justify seizing it and building a new one under her control. Jared handed over his footage. The secret meetings, the unauthorized drone, the illegal inspection marks on the road. It was all there. The county engineer confirmed the road was safe, one of the best maintained in the region. Jared hadn't just defended his home. He'd exposed a multi-million-dollar fraud that had bled an entire community dry. Neighbors who once ignored him now left notes on his porch. "Thank you. We had no idea. You saved us." Even the sheriff shook his hand. But Jared didn't want praise. He wanted justice. And on a cold Thursday morning, as fog rolled over the lake, federal agents arrived at Linda's door. Handcuffs clicked. A press release followed. HOA president arrested for fraud, embezzlement, and abuse of power. The video hit 1 million views by noon. But Jared wasn't done. He had one final move. The special HOA meeting was packed. Residents filled the lodge, some angry, some ashamed, all stunned. Jared stood at the front, not as a victim, but as a witness. He played the footage, Linda's lies, the fake invoices, the offshore transfers. He showed the road inspection report, safe for 25-plus years. He revealed the developer's proposal, 18 luxury cabins, 2.5 million in profits, all funded by stolen fees. Silence fell, then applause, then shouts of "resign." The remaining board members stepped down on the spot. Jared turned to the crowd. "The road is mine," he said, "but it doesn't have to be a weapon. It can be a solution." He proposed a plan: sell the road, not to a developer, but to the community, at fair market value, with a 10-year payment plan, no interest. All future access fees would go into a transparent, audited fund managed by elected residents. No more secret accounts. No more unchecked power. The vote was unanimous. Applause thundered, but one voice cut through. "And the $70,000 fine?" Jared smiled. "It's void." The next morning, he removed the chain. He installed a new sign. "Welcome to Pine Hollow. Access restored." Below it, a smaller plaque, in memory of Grandpa Joe, who built this road with his hands. The community began rebuilding trust. New bylaws were drafted. An oversight committee formed. And for the first time in years, the lodge hosted a potluck, not out of obligation, but out of unity. Jared didn't speak. He just sat by the fire watching the stars. Finally, at peace. 1 year later, the road was officially transferred. The community paid off 40% up front, the rest over time. A digital ledger tracked every dollar. Public, real-time, secure. The HOA was renamed Pine Hollow Stewards. No more president. No more dictators, just a rotating council, elected annually. Jared wasn't on it. He didn't want power. He wanted balance. He reopened his small farm stand, Jared's Harvest, selling honey, herbs, and vegetables. Kids stopped by after school. Elders sat on his bench. He even hosted a summer concert on the lawn. Acoustic music, lemonade, fireflies. Linda was sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. No parole. At her hearing, she said, "I was doing what I thought was best." The judge replied, "Best for whom?" Jared never gloated. But when a reporter asked, "Was it worth it?" he looked at the lake, the trees, the road lit by moonlight. "Yes," he said. It was about more than land. It was about truth. Now, when new residents arrive, they're told two things. 1, respect the rules. 2, never underestimate the quiet man with the deed. And every spring, on the anniversary of the gate's reopening, the community gathers. Not for protest, not for power, for peace, for justice, for the man who held the road and gave it back.